How do we see? Well, with our eyes, of course. But then, that's not quite right. Our eyes detect particles of light as they bounce off objects in our environment. These, in turn, create electronic impulses that travel down the optic nerve to the visual cortex. These are called action potentials, and it is with these that our brains construct our visual realities. If you were to listen to one of these action potentials, it might sound something like this. One neuron switching on and off. But now think less one dog clicker and more the entire works of Shakespeare in Morse code in just a few milliseconds. That is how our brains see. What then when the visual system sustains damage? In cases of blindness or severe visual impairment, is it possible for us to create a new source of action potential with which our brains can see? My PhD is in a field called sensory substitution, which attempts to use technology to create a new source of action potential and to restore some functionality to those with sensory impairments. We can demonstrate this at its most basic with this, the slide whistle, the clarinet de Looney Tunes. We can demonstrate that objects travelling down might sound like this, and up like this. Now, while ridiculous, and it is a ridiculous instrument, that demonstrates that humans can naturally pair together different types of sensory information. Then add in other components, perhaps depth for loudness, and left and right balance for left and rights. And soon you can play live images as complex soundscapes. We call this a sensory substitution device, something that uses a camera to capture visual information from the environment. We convert that information through an algorithm and then output that information as sound through headphones or speakers. Now, sensory substitution device users, or SSD users, with practice can not only gain an understanding of their environments, but also have vision-like experiences. Their brains have found a new source of action potential from with which to see.